We have an enablement problem. What do I mean? We have an enablement problem. I was actually at the Sales Enablement Society Experience Conference earlier this week. If you haven't seen the pictures, check them out on LinkedIn. I've got a couple of videos I'm going to share on YouTube as well. We have an enablement problem. And here's the enablement problem that we have. There's an identity crisis with what enablement is. And one of the reasons why there's an identity crisis with what enablement is because the people who are drawn to enablement have a diverse set of experiences. Some of us come from sales roles. Some of us come from customer success roles. Some of us come from account management roles. Some of us were in operations. Some of us were in HR. Some of us were in learning and development. So the identity crisis creates this enablement problem challenge. Well, how do we solve for it? Well, number one, have a clear definition. And I'm not going to get into the definition of what enablement is or isn't from an Oxford or Webster perspective. What my definition of enablement is an act of service. Enablement is about helping people do the things they want to do better and faster. Enablement is about helping organizations do the things they want to do better and faster. Enablement is about helping teams do the things they want to do better and faster. So it's about helping people, teams, organizations do things better and faster. Everybody goes through a series of conversions in the we convert from current state to desired state, A to B. Well, to get from A to B, we go through some kind of a stressor or some kind of a thing. A state change happens. Well, when you work with an enabler can help you accelerate getting from A to B. Calls with customers can act as an enablement function. They can enable customers to make better and faster decisions. Collateral can act as an enablement function. Web pages can enable customers to make better decisions. Technology can enable people to make better decisions. I have my watch on, which I usually have on. It helps me make better decisions around moving. Should I move now because I haven't moved in over a period of time? So there are all these things that can enable people to get through that conversion. People can enable others. Little stick figure. Process can enable others. Organizing process. Tools, tech, can enable people. People, process, tools. Sounds like what every other consultant will tell you. The challenge is trying to figure out which people do we apply, which process, which of these do we apply, how many of those things do we apply. I think we tend to overcomplicate a lot of this stuff, and we try to say, let's go ahead and throw one more tool at the problem. And then ultimately we create enablement challenges. The tools start to get in the way. Let's throw another step in the process, because this is how we did it where I was at previously. And that starts to get in the way. We throw more people into the process. Every time you add more, you create complexity and potentially get yourself into a situation where you disable performance. So as an enabler, I am here to help people do the things they want to do better and faster. That's how I look at enablement. I believe that one of the tools that we all use, and many of us know and love, our daily planner, is a disabler of success. So the daily planner, how many of you have a daily planner where you have just continued to fill it with task after task after task after task after task? You come up with tasks that you need to do. So you add another one. You have a task that your boss suggests that you do. You have a task that comes to you that your boss's boss suggested that you have to do. Then you come up with another new shiny thing that the board suggests that you do. Then you've got something at home that you need to do. You've got things that you want to do for yourself. And before you know it, you have a series of tasks. a series of jobs that need to get done, a series of work that needs to get done. But you struggle with figuring out, okay, how do I prioritize these tasks? Well, that's where things like strategy can come into play. Clarity of strategy can come into play. Clarity of goal, figuring out alignment can come into play. So you've seen it before, the game plan, goal setting and execution through clarity and focus. We identify our goal, we determine our specific actions or strategy that we're going to use to approach the goal. And then ideally, we align the tasks directly with that strategy and eliminate all of the other stuff. Now, some of that stuff can't be eliminated because somebody has to do the work. So then we have to figure out, do we add more people to the equation? Do we add more tools to the equation, start to automate? Do we add more processes to reduce the load? This is a delicate balance. My view is that your daily planner is getting in the way of progress. It is actually disabling you or creating an environment where you're going to continue to struggle. As you struggle with getting all of the tasks, not checking off each of the tasks, you'll get into a situation where you start to feel a little bit less than. You feel disabled. You feel disempowered to go out and get work done. So one of the challenges I saw when I was at the Sales Enablement Society meeting, and now it's rebranded as the Revenue Enablement Society, which is really cool. I think at some point in time, it's actually going to be called the Organization Enablement Society because I think that's where we're going. And then we'll finally get back to the point where we get back to the individual and how do we enable, how do we help people get from point A to point B. So let's wrap this up with a story from the event. A number of the newer professionals in the enablement space are struggling with a list of tasks that keep coming up to them from senior leaders like myself, fractional revenue leaders, chief revenue officers, VPs of sales, chief marketing officers, whatever, where we throw another task over the fence and we say, hey, we need to get this done. We need to get another piece of collateral. Might be a rep. We need to get a rep wants more information for a customer. We need to have some kind of document. And we keep throwing these tasks over the fence. And we fail as leaders. You're failing as a leader when you don't align the task with the strategy and connect that to the goal. If you're asking enablement professionals inside your organization to do work that is not aligned directly with your strategy, that connects directly to the goal, you are creating waste inside your organization. You're creating frustration. And here's the challenging part. The enablement professionals that I spoke with at the event see it. They know it. They just don't know how to push back. They struggle with pushing back. So we talked about needs analysis and upskilling your needs analysis. I think by upskilling your needs analysis from a revenue enablement perspective, you can have better business conversations with the leaders inside the organization and start to draw attention to the challenge of trying to do too much. So, two key takeaways from this. Number one, if you're struggling with a really, really big task list, ask yourself, how do those tasks directly relate to the strategy that I've adopted that aligns with the goal or goals that I'm trying to accomplish? And it's okay to have multiple goals. Struggling with the tasks, make sure you reflect and ask the question and take feedback from your data. How does the task align directly with the directly with the goal? And if I can't connect the dots between those things, then it might be time to do some of that work. As a senior leader inside an organization, asking members of your team to do work, and you're not providing the context that connects the dots directly to the strategy and the goal, you're doing your team a disservice. If you struggle with pushback, struggle with people asking you questions, challenging you, asking the question about how these dots connect, and you make them feel less than, you make them, you push a specific agenda, you're not actually leading inside your organization and you're doing your teams a disservice. So from a self perspective, don't do yourself a disservice by having too many tasks that aren't aligned directly with your strategy and your goal. And as a leader, don't dump a lot of this stuff on your teams. If you know somebody who would find value in this video, please share it with them. Add comments. I'd love to hear what you think. What did I miss? Don't let the daily planner disable you, and don't let your leadership disempower your team. Thank you.